Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of Wardy's Waffle. It's the only one this week. We've had a bit of a quieter week on the farm because of the weather. We've had quite a lot of rain this week. I think it's rained virtually every day apart from Friday, and you can see by this clip how hard some of the rain showers have been. We've probably had in the region of about 22 millimetres, I think, in the last few days. So that's not helped with the drilling we've got to do. So we've still got probably 250 acres of wheat to get in the ground yet, and still some sugar beet to harvest as well. Anyway, this week's update, we're mentioning sugar beet. We did get another 20 acres out the ground at the start of the week, so that went really well. So we've got a good insight into that, and we've also got that land soloed. Tom was on the RX and the 8RX and the solo, getting that land cultivated before we had any rain, and that actually went really well. So and just touching on the cultivations in the RX, after last week's video, I did get quite a few comments and hear a few people around the area were saying that that just shows the RX can't pull the solo because of the comments I made. We found its limitations, but in last week's video, just to clear that up, when the RX was struggling with the solo, it's because it was in the rain, and we were trying to get some headlands done which had already been turned on the day before, so that's why it wasn't managing it very well. So generally, looking at this video, you'll see how well the RX does handle the solo. So I've absolutely no hesitation in sort of really been really pleased with the purchase of the RX. Anyway, apologies for the wind. I haven't got the muffled microphone. I hope you can hear me all right. So yeah, we get the soloing done on that beet field, and it went really well. We've got some beet going out this week from that heap, so that will be in next week's update. We've also got the farm track we've finished off this week, and also the beet pad extension as well. We've finished that this week, so that's great getting those jobs done. And we've also put some more RSJs in the new house and had delivery of the roof trusses and various things, so that's progressing nicely. And this next week, I'm not going to say where I'm going, but I've got a great visit lined up this next week that will be on the waffle in probably 2 or 3 weeks' time. But it might be need to be in 2 editions because it's going to be a long visit. So I've got a really looking forward to this, and you'll enjoy seeing it in a few weeks' time when I get it edited and put together. Anyway, without any more from me, we'll get on with this week's update. Thank you very much for watching. Please click like, subscribe and the bell sound, and here we go. Just looking here at this stone track that Barry's done a cracking job of squaring it up, and squaring the stone up on the side here, squaring it, and then the soil we're bringing down here, bringing the soil down to make a nice margin here. And then we've got to do some more on this side as well, and then we're going to bring our tarmac planings down. But yeah, it's doing a cracking job, Barry is here down this side. Really handy this is, because otherwise you'd have had to go on the margin on the right. And then he just comes with his excavator at the back just to level it out. This is doing a really good job here. It's a bit higher, you can see. It's a bit higher than the track, but that's good because we're going to level it up with planings. We're going to put 3 inches of those tarmac planings all along here, so it'll make a cracking job of this track then. These headlands are going really well now, considering the rain we've had in the last few days. Tractor's gripping well. So you can just see the elements of this solo. We've got disc at the front that gets your first cultivation and your depth. We've then got your loosening legs, and that's loosening it to about 8 inches deep, so as deep as you would normally plough. Then you've got your DD roller here that's firming and consolidating it, and then leaving it in a good state for the back disc to do a bit and chop in and work in. So we've used this machine for sugar beet since 2004. That's when we last stopped ploughing, so we get much better seed beds and cheaper establishment of sugar beet than we do when we plough. This is the beauty of GPS and having all the fields mapped. You can see this boundary isn't straight. The grass margin follows that, and Tom has just got the tractor on auto steer, of course, and it's just following it round all the way down there, and that's parallel to the beck on the left. So the gap all the way from there to there is the same all the way down. So that's why doing it like he's doing from the when he does the outsides of the fields, or the headlands as we call it, going from the inside of the field first to the outside, it takes all your corners out and everything, leaves it leveler. So we're lifting a bit more sugar beet today. It's Monday. Going a little bit slower than we have done the other field we lifted a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Local contractors machine lifts a lot of beet round us in the area. You can just see with the soil not quite as dry as it was before, and it's not a bad field. It's quite a nice soil texture. You can see we'll get a bit closer, but the beet lifts at the front, and there's the turbines. You can see the beet going round and soil and tops flying out there before it goes up the elevator and into the tank. It goes up the far side. See the auger in the top of the tank there, the back's full, so Malt, the drivers, or the sensor has reversed it, and it's now pulling the beet to the front of the tank. So that's how it fills the whole tank evenly. The tank will hold about 20-25 tonnes. Now she's going to turn around. Empty now into this trailer in a minute. This is the side where the beet comes up into the tank. You'll see as soon as it gets alongside, Mount will drop the elevator. There we go. Just see it's starting to cut up coming out the field. But we're going to get in here with the solo and get this moved as soon as we can before the rain tonight and get it loosened up. These trailers are what Baileys call a B-tipper. They tip it a lot higher. The back door opens at right angles to the top. You can see the rams are different. They're positioned further back on the chassis and further back on the front. They tip it a lot higher up. You can see there with the door as it is, it leaves it a lot higher. And then if you just drop it, trailer down a little bit, you can see it lifts the door up and it doesn't drag the beet out. And yeah, we push up with the forklift here to get it higher, but some people don't do that, and if without the forklift, that's how high it'll leave it. So quite a decent height. And that's the blade that we use for some wheat in the smaller sheds. It's ever so old, probably 35 years old, but does a really good job. And that's the one that we've got a quad track on the front of it. See there, just protect the beet. Another trailer on its way. Nice medium loamy soil, one of our best fields to be honest. That's the field we lifted about 3 weeks ago. Managed to get it in the wheat drilled before the rain. It's going through nicely. And you can just see how high we can get it with this blade. It's not British Sugar's recommendation to go as high as this, but it's not going to be here more than about a week to 10 days. But we like to go this high because it just, for one, this concrete's not very big, and also it just helps it to dry out in the heap a bit because there's a little bit of soil in this heap. And as I said before, we get penalised by the factory if we take soil in. So the cleaner the beet going into the factory, the less soil, the more we get paid for it from British Sugar. It always goes over a cleaner loader when we load the lorries. There's the cleaner loader just at the side there. This is the only trouble with sugar beet when you get bad weather, is the compaction and soil damage. You can see through here, but hopefully this is why we want to get Tom here with the solo this afternoon before the rain tonight and tomorrow talks of rain all day on Tuesday tomorrow, and get this loosened up. And we would have tried to got it drilled, but there's no chance because it talks of rain coming by 6 p.m. If we can get it worked and get all this headland and compaction out and this soil damage, it won't be too bad. You see the sugar beet roots there in the ground growing. Move that out the way. There and there. Remember, we need 6 of these to make 1 bag of Silver Spoon British sugar. There's another one. The roots were planted here around about 7 inches apart. You see the soil and everything dropping out there. You can see also just through the window here of the Polaris, the machine crabs. I've explained before in other videos, this helps with soil compaction and spreading the load. So the front axle doesn't follow the rear. You see, this is where the sugar beet comes up the side into the tank there. There's the turbine spinning it, cleaning it. This time we've got the top spreading out. With it a bit wetter, it's always a bit better to get the tops out the side, and it gives less for the harvester to deal with and gets the better sample and less soil going in the tank. See there, the beet being lifted. I'm not going to get too close to that because if there's any stones come out, that'll fly straight out into me here, so I'm just going to keep the distance a little bit, just keep back. You see, that's what's lifting the sugar beet. That's the shares that's vibrating and sort of moving backwards and forwards. Just see there. And that spider wheel's just helping the sugar beet up onto the augers. There's like, just through there, there's like 4 or 5 or 6 little augers, little mini corkscrews that help clean it. Just see another one at the back there. That's it, that's the end of the field. Hopper's empty. There's about half a trailer load there to go onto here. Mark's just cleaning the machine down, how it got done. Just have a quick look at the lifting mechanism and the topper. You can see these are the flails that are spinning round at a real fast rate, and that's what tops the beet. And then you can see here are the scalpers. So this here, these are the knives that take the top of the beet off, and that just stops the knives just sinking in too far. So there's one for every row. It lifts 6 rows at a time. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you can see further back, that's what prizes the beet out the ground. So that then squeezes the beet out. Another one there, and there's sort of vibrating going backwards and forwards at a really fast rate, and it squeezes the beet out the ground after it's been topped. Then the beet goes up onto these roller beds, and then these take the beet through onto that chain. A lot of the soil and the tops and stuff drops down, and those are going around, they just help it. So it goes onto that web there, and it comes back under the cab. So that's the back of that web onto this turbine, and then this is spinning that way. That beet then comes around this way. That is spinning there, sends the beet back that way, and then back this way through that turbine, back into this elevator here, and up there and into the tank. You've got that. All those are going that way to take the beet when it gets low down into that part of the tank. And then that one there is going that way, left to right. Of course, that elevator's folded down, and that's what feeds the elevator. And here's the big sort of giant corkscrew that can go forward or back helps level the beat in the tank. So yeah, you can see how big the tank is. And that's in the cab. Obviously a lot of electronics. See the screen on the side of the joystick. Cameras and things as well. So good operating environment. Good visibility as well down onto the harvest, as you can see there. That's it, there's going. That's another 20 acres out the ground. Just going to have a look at Tom in here with the 8RX and the Solo. He's just got, well, he's got more than just got started, and we're trying to get some done before it rains. I'm trying to get it done, but this gateway is not brilliant. You can just see, looking at it, a bit rutted, but we'll see how we go on. But it's a shame with the rain coming, but we want to get this field all worked over and get the beat tops buried and just get the trailer wheelings out the way, get them loosened and get the compaction removed, because it won't, if it rains, there'll be water stood all on this headland, so we need to make sure that doesn't happen. Tom's now filling in, and these we leave the gap. The GPS alternates and goes every other breed. It's just easier turning at the end. It's probably about the worst conditions you could have, with greasy beat tops. You can see here how green these are, all full of moisture and juice. So it's a real test for any tractor to grip on top of that. See there, it's doing a good job here. Yeah, we're going at a slight angle here. That's the angle you can see of the beat machine there, of how it was drilled. That's because we always plant every crops from this hedge there, and then whenever we work or solo, we always go at a different angle, slight angle, and we've started the other side of the field across there. So that means that you're a bit of an angle. That's the auto steer and auto turning headland sequence kicked in. Just get the right way for the light. Yeah, lovely soil here. The rafters have rolled up for the house, and we got the ceiling joists came last week, so we don't need these for another few weeks, but at least they're here, so we're not holed up waiting for anything. We're just going to put them against the side of that shed there, as long as the forks that are sticking through don't go through the asbestos. Manitou needs a good wash. We're going up and down that lane with the soil for Barry for the track. They're fine there. Nala again supervising the unloading with Ron. Then we've got some little diddy ones here. This is putting this in the old workshop because it needs to be kept dry. With plyboard and stuff for the roof. Just moving this flat trailer out, just move it with the front of the Manitou. Then we're going to put those ceiling joists on it and run them onto them down up to the house. So we're just going to, you've got to be very careful moving stuff here because you can easily bend that carriage. So we just don't really turn it, just in a straight line. We're all right with that. Just going to lift these rafters now onto the trailer. Side the ceiling joists. There we go. Okay. Just going to take them round to the house now. Bit of a squeeze past the shed. We're just backing it right down here. They're going to leave them on. Then they can lift them off by hand. They're not very heavy when you get them unstrapped. Time to get another beam out now and put up in the house. Just going to take it round to the back of the house. That's it. I've got to get the straps out because they're trapped in the cement. So here's Ruben just getting a bit more soil. We're trying to get this cleared up, get this beet pad emptied because that sugar beet there needs to go on here. We need to get that beet up in the next 10 days hopefully. Nearly got all the soil brought up. Not much left. And that'll just be enough to go down this other side of the track. You can see there in the distance on the left what Barry's done. The right's finished. Tom's just taken the solo off and he's just going to put the drill on, the Simba free flow drill that we use to plant all the crops. Just finishing off and clearing away the old turf from the offices that were laid last week. It's all greening up nicely. This that was yellow, I've just put a bit of seed on one or two of these areas that are bare. But that stuff does stink. Been rolled up. We're just rolling that and getting rid of this. And Nala's taken an interest. Got some more loads a week going out. This is November's contracts. We've got 9 loads altogether in November. I think there was 5 sold on one contract and 4 on another, but I think one of these contracts was sold 2 years ago, so the price for that won't be special compared to what it is today, probably 160 odd. And but that's the thing, on the day when they were sold it was the right thing to do, so I'm trying not to lose sleep over that. Yeah, just going back on 1 or 2 comments I've had on YouTube. Somebody said the other day, because obviously I try and promote British, and yesterday was Back British Farming Day, and this was my offering for Back British Farming Day NFU initiative. Today it's Back British Farming Day and we're celebrating all the fantastic things that go on in our countryside. Behind me I've got the Forage Aid logo. That's a charity that I co-founded, and we're looking at helping livestock farmers in times of need and extreme weather. We've also got an NFU slogan here British farmers, we're proud to produce your food, and we certainly are proud to produce your food. But not only do we provide food for the nation and produce food here on this farm, we also provide food for wildlife. We've got lots of habitat around the farm. We feed songbirds, we feed game, we look after nature all the time. And also with school children, we're promoting agriculture and the countryside to schools, and we go into schools and talk to children about where their food comes from. So thank you everybody for supporting British agriculture and British farmers. So that was my offering. Obviously a few things I've overlaid into it, all the various things we do in farming, looking after the countryside. And somebody came back to me, which is a fair point, said it's all very well me promoting support British farmers and British food. We need to support British machinery manufacturers, which to be honest is a fair point. And we do here as much as we can. As you know, we use a lot of Simba kit, which that is a few years old now. I think we've got 7 pieces of Simba machinery, so all those are English, made 10 miles away. We've got 5 different Bailey trailers of some sort, made 10 miles away. And then Howsam sprayer, obviously, so a British made sprayer. And then forklift that I'm on now. Unfortunately, JCB don't make a machine that suits us. We want a 4-ton machine and a 9.5 metre or 9 metre reach, and this Manitou is. JCB's 9 metre reach machine is only 3.5 tons, so we can't, that doesn't fit us, so that's why we've got a Manitou. And there's no British manufacturer makes an all-tracked tractor, so that's why we've got the 8RX John Deere, and then combine as well. Obviously we New Holland, I've been for a long while, and I don't think there's a British manufacturer that makes a combine of the size that we want, but we do try and support British as much as we can. And obviously I've got a Discovery as well, we've got a Ford van for the farm and things, so we do try and support them as much as we can. It's always a bit awkward when you're in the doorway of the shed, but it's until you get the corners out. So what I try and do is when I'm loading the back of the lorry, is make sure the bucket's a bit fuller to the left. You've got to take the corners out round to the left of the door. You've got to come from the other way on back in the shed and come into the corners. You've got to take a fair bit more out until you can properly clear the corners, because you can't get in the corners very well with this this machine. So that'll be 6 buckets on the back of the trailer, and this is one of those tapered bodies. It's not a step frame body, it's got a taper, so I think 6 buckets in the back. And 6 buckets in the back, 4 in the front, and a couple in the middle should about do it. So that's 6 in the back. So I'll go the other way now in the other corner and try and get as much of that out as we can. It's weighing well this year, so there's going to be nearly 3 ton in each bucket. Put this in the front now. There's visibility through the roof with having this curved glass on this Manitou. Be weighing well. That's 11 buckets have put on for 29 odd tons, with still a big heap to go out here. There was about 1,400 tons in here when we started, so we've got well into the doorway now, but we've got that heap round that corner, and then we've got this bit round this corner of the door, but we're getting there. But yeah, so we've quite a lot going out this week, but when you look at it, you only have to just pick a handful up and you can just feel how heavy it is actually. So we're going to get him weighed out and get him his passport, and then he's on his way. Sampling now, just saying that the spear's bent. You just see it's not doing a lorry at an angle, and it just shows as well how much it's weighing, because the lorry's not very full. So that's just sampling outside. Just see the spear, and then it takes the sample into the little receptacle in the weighbridge. Barry's just finished this track and squaring it up for us. Done a really cracking job of this. Levelled it off a treat. Just made a bit of a mess of that road. as you saw earlier in the video, but we'll leave that till it dries. It wants scraping off, so don't need to be on that anymore till the spring. So I don't think we'll put the planings down here until the spring, until the weather's better and it's drier. But done a cracking job here. We haven't had to buy any of this stone, well, not for a few years. It's come out the menage, this quarry stone here, and obviously the brick rubble came from the house underneath. And then the soil we've done out here, some of that's from the house foundation, so it's levelled up the side there. Some rolls of turf that we've had left over, and we've just laid those down. Look how yellow they've gone, and where they've been sat on the ground, they're black. But down here we're all right, and we're going to throw some grass seed on there. And that's it, done a really good job. Finished it a treat. Just got a bit of water stood on these headlands here. We left this for Barry to stand on with his digger. That field's going to be coming beans. We're going to be drilling that in March time. Whether we'll get this little bit here done, if it dries up, we're on a frost to get it worked, I'm not sure yet, but if we don't, it's not the end of the world. That field's coming spring beans as well, and we'll probably end up direct drilling that. But no, pleased with this, done a really good job. It's Thursday, and just noticed in this recently drilled wheat field, these wheelings from the hare coursers. Just look at the mess they've made. They've been right out here, having a sweep out there, and they've gone right out in the middle. You maybe can't quite see on the phone, but there's a seagull in the middle of the field. There's a wheeling right out the middle there. They've actually come through here as well, and where they've gone through these fields, and this is just the problem up here, it's light land. They can get on these any time of year. It's just so bloody annoying and frustrating that they cause this damage, just looking for hares. And I'd love to know who they are, because I'll be doing the same to their garden and their property. That's the corner of the field where I've just been, and I've just come round back through the yard. I only live just through here, so not very far away, and look at the wheeling through here all the way past, right through here, right down there. Really does annoy you.